Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Dish Yelta Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Thursday night, yo.
Ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific comer himself, Zealeus.
It is good to see you on the ones and zeros or the zeros and ones, depending on your personal preference.
Indubitably. Ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, is the Thursday Night Hangout. It's a live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show. If you have not yet submitted your topic, or if you think of a topic or subject or question or opinion anytime during the show, all you got to do is drop it in the chat, be it YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, and we'll try to add it to the show. If we do run out of time, we will add it to the very next show. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. First things first. News for Zealeus and I and a bunch of other people out there. Hades 2 has an early release window.
When? Tell me now. I must know.
So, they basically said quarter 2 of 2024, which basically puts it somewhere between April and June of 2024. So, make room. You still got a little bit of time, but Hades 2 is coming.
During my calendar, I'm going to take all of my vacation days just during that time so I can play like 10 straight days nonstop.
Speaking of 10 straight days, I mean, I haven't played 10 straight days of Starfield, but
without sleeping. That's why you didn't have no topics. You're too busy mining the random worlds.
No. Starfield, I've already put in 50 hours.
Have you made it through the self-created tutorial?
No.
I mean, I know it's not an official tutorial like other games, but the idea of there's so much to learn.
No, I have not. And simply because I haven't slowed down to like try to figure out crafting.
So you don't know 50% of the game yet.
Basically, yeah.
Nice. So what have you been doing? What is there to do in the game if you're not crafting?
Flying around, killing guys, discovering what exists on planets, going on missions.
Did you figure out how to build a ship?
Okay. Kind of.
Oh, well.
I keep running into this issue where by the time I'm done building what I think is a really good ship, I'm notified that one or more of the components that I've chosen will not work with the grade of reactor I have.
Oh dear.
And I don't know. I really don't know what that means. So the craftiest I have gotten in this game when it comes to my ship is I added a second floor to my ship, and I upgraded the engine, the fuel tank, and I added two mods to my ship, and that's it.
So you played 50 hours, and technically you haven't actually made a new ship yet, is what I'm hearing.
I have updated my ship.
But you haven't actually built a new ship, which seems to be one of the purposes of the game.
No, okay, so funny thing is, like I said, I have built many ships that just have not been valid ships at the end of the day. So I've had to scrap the design.
Is a ship built if it's valid?
I don't know.
I don't know. Existential questions for the ones and zeros. What makes a ship?
Yes, what makes a ship?
So are you enjoying your 50 hours that you've been spending nonstop in the game?
So I'm now a space pirate.
So you just steal from everyone?
Well, so I was supposed to be undercover, and then apparently I was too violent while I was undercover, and so the military let me loose, and so I ended up having to, because I was undercover with these pirates, and in the end I was supposed to hand all the pirates to the military, but the military said you're a loose cannon, we can't have you anymore, we're kicking you to the curb. And so I ended up having to kill all the people that I was working for.
Oh dear.
So I don't really feel good about it. However, yeah. So yeah,
there's
yeah. So I'm a space pirate now.
cool.
Um. Yeah. So, anyways, okay. So Hades 2 early release is being scheduled between April and June of 2024, and I'm sure that I will probably, as I've done every single time, will probably own this game on more than one platform.
What was your favorite platform to play the OG Hades?
Switch.
It was very nice. It was convenient because it was playable on the console or on the actual physical Switch if you had the Pro Controller connected. I tried playing with like the Joy-Cons and it was just a painful, it was like torture.
I can't play for too long if it's action packed. I can't play with those Joy-Cons for
No.
very long because it's very flat, and so my hands will start cramping. Now, if it's like like a puzzle game where I can take my hands off the controls and pop it back on, I can take my time, then that's fine. But still, I mean, even then, I'm not going to do any long gaming sessions with that.
Yeah, I know. Like when I played Civ 5 on it, I used the Joy-Cons, and that was no problem because it was just navigate around a little bit, but it wasn't like twitchy action. That's where it becomes an issue for me.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited. Okay. Now I saw this news, and I think that because Nintendo has decided, because of the successfulness, is that a word?
It is now.
Sure. Of the Mario movie, that they're willing to perhaps look at other IPs that they own and make a movie of it. And the rumor is that the next one up will be Zelda, and it will be a live action. Of course, that's just that's all the information that they've given or whispered, I guess.
That's all speculation at this point.
I'm excited about it because I don't really want to knock the Mario movie, but Mario, in my opinion, could have stood on his own. They didn't need to try to like rope in Donkey Kong, in my opinion. Now I understand why they did it, but at the same time, Donkey Kong isn't in unless like I totally missed out that Donkey Kong has never been part of the Mario universe outside of Smash Brothers. Well, actually,
so
no,
what
that's
I'm
not true.
hearing is it's more like the Nintendo Cinematic Universe.
Yes. Hopefully, in my opinion, I think that Zelda could stand on its own with just Link, Zelda, Ganondorf, and whoever else in the actual universe.
I'll say, like, from a thematic standpoint, like Mario, I agree. Like, it's weird to have Donkey Kong in the movie, but think about the Mario games. There's always kind of like the mashup things with Mario games. Like, you might get like random, and there's like so many characters in the Mario. So to me, that at least like it wasn't jarring. At least to have Donkey Kong. It was like, okay, that's odd, but it wasn't like it didn't really take away from the movie. On the other hand, I agree. Like Zelda is to me at least, I think most people agree, it's a very self-contained universe.
Yep.
Or Zelda, it's Link, it's the baddies, but you're not like basically short of like Super Smash Brother, you're not doing crazy crossover things. It'd be no different. Like if you had like Metroid going out, kicking ass, taking names, and all of a sudden like Zelda comes in with their sword. You'd be like, what the hell is going on here?
No. What would make more sense is if you had Metroid and all of a sudden Samus gets lost and then there's Simon Belmont.
So yes, like I agree, but like those are all franchises that should stand on their own.
Agreed.
Castlevania is actually a good one too. Like that makes sense. So I agree. I think Zelda, I would hope that it's that, and it's also again humor in the world of Mario makes sense. Like perfect.
Yeah.
But like to me, Zelda is more of a serious type of atmosphere.
Yeah.
They can still, have your your lighthearted moments in it because if it's a Nintendo movie, it's probably going to have it.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it would not be hopefully a comedy.
Yeah.
But definitely, I mean, yes. I think that'd be really cool to have that actually happen finally. After
Sign
all
me
these
up.
years.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I look at it this way. With with Nintendo starting to break into the cinematic scene, this allows for at least some variation of the IP existing. Because as we've talked many times on this show, Nintendo is very sensitive about people trying to make fan fiction of any of their properties.
Oh yes, they do not like it.
So, but the thing is, as a fanboy, my main argument is, but if you have a problem with this, then give us your own flavor of it so that we don't have. I mean, yes, people are still going to make fan fiction, fan projects of everything, but at least you would have something that truly has the Nintendo stamp, and I think that's what we're starting to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason you have the Zelda fan mix is because there are no Zelda movies.
Yeah.
Definitely a large reason why. Like, it was filling a void in the ecosystem. But if you actually get them, as long as it's not directed by Ubal, you might be in good shape.
Yeah, I know. No. I've been reading a bunch of articles that have basically stated that you can also thank the influx of Mario game remakes that seem to be coming down the pipeline because of the success of the movie. Now, of course, you've got the personal one that I'm probably going to accidentally disappear for quite a while in November, and that, of course, is Super Mario RPG. They also have a new Mario game. They're giving I believe, HD treatment to Paper Mario Thousand Doors, I think is what it's called, which is a great move. It's a great game. I loved it. So yeah, we're gonna continue to get a ton of Mario stuff. So
yeah, I was not really interested in the Mario movie, but if they do a Zelda movie, that's one I'll be like, okay, I may actually have to go see this. Like, go out of my way to watch it.
Right. Well, I mean, I could take it or leave it when it came to Mario, and I was more on the leave it. But I've got 2 kids who really wanted to see it, so therefore I've seen the movie twice now.
There were actually a lot of Bowsers at Dragon Con, including one Bowser with a keyboard.
Nice. Did he go peaches, 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 peaches?
He made a valiant attempt.
Well, at least he tried. So, speaking of remakes, let's talk about the exciting news that Final Fantasy VII REbirth, which is the second chapter in the remake of the Final Fantasy VII franchise, has a release date, at least for the PlayStation 5.
When is the release date?
February 29th, 2024. So apparently next year is a leap year. Who knew?
I feel terrible because I still have not beat a Final Fantasy VII remake.
I did, but Sephiroth is a mean mofo, and it takes a lot.
The bosses in the game are no joke.
Yeah, no.
They definitely, for me at least, I got far enough to at least face a few of them.
Yeah,
and definitely have to learn how to do it. You can't just button mash your way through them.
No, and there's a lot more than just the old school turn base.
I mean, in a way, you could play turn based, but that would sound really boring.
Yeah, I tried it for like half a second. I'm like, but I want action. but you pay for it.
You can watch the action. It's super exciting.
Yeah, as your ass is grass, you get destroyed over and over and over again.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, the AI for your allies is pretty terrible.
Yeah.
I found it to be trash personally, but that's how games go.
Just stay out of my way and heal me when my HP's low. That's all you need to do for me.
Well, you can cast that yourself. Problem solved.
Yeah, but you can't cast it over and over again. You got a cooldown.
Well, yes, this is true.
That's why you need teammates to help.
But I'm a solo player, man. I don't want teammates because I don't care about the story. I just want to go bash things with my Buster Sword.
Speaking of which, my son is going to be Cloud Strife for Halloween, and he got his Buster Sword for his birthday over the weekend.
Is it like 8 feet tall like it's supposed to be?
It's not 8 feet tall. It is 3.5 feet tall. And that thing is long as hell.
What is it actually made of?
Foam.
Ah, nice. Mm-hmm. I look forward to some epic sword fights.
So, but yeah.
Right. What else would you use a sword for?
I don't know.
Fend off your brother when he's being annoying. That's totally appropriate use too.
Yeah. We'll probably have to I'll probably have to create some kind of like sword holder for his wall so you can hang it.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Also need
what materia does he have in the sword?
See, there's no materia, and I was actually thinking about how I would make some materia to put in there. And I think the best route would probably be to lean on someone who has a 3D printer to get like something that would fit in the notches, because the notches are there.
Oh, they do exist?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's 2 of them.
Well, it looks like what a bunch of people do, because you still see a number of Buster Swords at the conventions.
Yeah.
It looks like almost to get like a bowl and then cut it down to size.
Yeah.
I think that's what they do. Or they get a sphere that's clear, because like you kind of want like that opaque style.
Yep.
And then they cut that in half.
Mm-hmm.
I think. But yes, I'd be happy to 3D print something also if you get dimensions.
Yeah, I'll show you some. I'll show you sometime soon.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go. Actually, since we were on the topic of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which of course is the second of the 3 chapters, there was, in my mind, I made the assumption that if a character existed in the original, that it was a no-brainer that the character, especially if it's a party member, would exist in the remake. Now, apparently...
It's a pretty logical conclusion, I will say. Apparently,
there was some people out there who were under the impression that Vincent Valentine may not be in the remake, which to me is a head scratcher. So I want to ask you the question, Zealeus. If you're doing a remake where, I mean, yes, I understand if you've got like maybe there's an NPC that's very memorable that you run into in the game, but they leave it out in the remake. That to me is a little bit different than an actual party member who you can have in the party who has their own moves and weapons and stuff. What is I'm assuming you want the full roster, right?
Yes, and I think that's also one thing of Final Fantasy VII, where you have like a certain somewhat limited number of characters versus like a Suikoden, where you have like how many characters do you have in Suikoden?
108.
Yeah, so like living out a couple characters when you're 108, like that I can at least actually understand.
Right.
In a remake, especially with FF7, it's not just like a remake. It's not like just a reskin. It's like an entire like remaking of the entire game. So I get to you're saying, leaving out a minor person. Of course, there's other questions as far as major pivotal plot points. Are some of those going to change in the second release?
Well, if it's anything like the first, then yes, you're going to. There's going to be a lot more depth to the story than you're used to, and it's already been confirmed that. Oh my gosh, I just blanked out. The guy who really lived Cloud's life.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Zach is actually in the game. I don't know if he's playable, but he is there, which is not in the original game.
Interesting. So from that perspective, I can understand like minor characters, but it seems like who is a pretty pivotal and like that people liked, leaving him out is a questionable decision, I would say.
Actually, there is one character that I don't know. I would be very surprised if they left him out because it's kind of like this inside joke when it comes to Final Fantasies. But it would be really weird if they left out Sid. And the reason is that Sid is actually the only character who basically shows up in every single freaking game.
Sid's the man.
I'm looking up the character roster.
The roster.
Yep. Because it's gonna bug me now. You've got Cloud, Aerith, Tifa, Barrett, Yuffie. That's 5. Red 13. Vincent, Cat Sith, Sid. So 9.
Yeah, that's what I counted.
Yeah.
I guess we shall see. I do hope they have Sid because he's always around.
I know it's it's kind of like in a way it's kind of like the when Stan Lee was alive. It was like you have to have Stan Lee be some character in the movie. Although I do love with all the different cameos that he did, he was totally different characters. Sid is always some kind of like wackadoodle crazy aeronautical enthusiast.
At least in Final Fantasy 14, he's also one of the most important like NPCs in the game that you interact with.
Well, you know,
he's super important to the storyline.
He's put in his time.
He has. He's a master of his craft.
Indeed. But yeah, I just when I was reading that article, going and thankfully, Vincent Valentine is going to be back. I'm like, why would he not be back? Did he get lost?
Wasn't he the one who had like a spinoff from the original Final Fantasy?
Yes, the Dirge of Cerberus, which was it was more the Dirge of Terribleness. It was not a good game.
Oh.
I own it, but it was terrible.
I'm glad you hold on to your terrible games.
Oh, I've got quite a few terrible games. Some
you
really
could use them
ones.
as coasters.
I'm not to that point yet. But yeah, I do. I still own some of my terrible games.
Nice.
Okay, so speaking of games, because this is what we do at Ultra Confusion Thursday Hangouts, is we talk video games and nerdy stuff. So let's talk about an interesting backlash that happened 2 days ago, September the 12th, revolving around a very popular game engine that is basically, I don't know what drugs the CF or the people running the company are on, but apparently the brilliant minds behind Unity have decided that at a certain number of downloads, the developer will have to pay Unity like a royalty fee. And it just, I don't understand. I really don't understand.
I mean, this is the same CEO who came, I think it was from EA or one of those, where he came with the brilliant idea if we could charge gamers money to reload quicker in an online FPS.
Yeah.
like per reload. So it's, I mean, it sucks because to Charlie's, so basically Unity is retroactively. It's not just that it's going forward. It's starting in 2014. It's games that have already been developed and released.
2024, bud.
Is that what I said? 2024?
No, you said 2014.
Oh,
that'd have been 10 years ago.
Or retroactively charged you for the last decade. I'm surprised they would not try, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, starting in 2024, games that have already been released like today or in the last forever, in 2024, at a certain threshold, I think it's like $200,000 in sales, is when they start charging you 20 cents per a download for that game. And it's, so that's the first problem is one, it's retroactive. So games that have already been released on Unity, like also are going to be charged this 20 cent per download fee. There's also all kinds of crazy things because it's like, nobody's quite sure 100% how that's charged, meaning like, is it per install on your computer? And Unity's like, no, it's only per device. So does that mean like, if I install it on my computer, let's just say I own 3 computers at home, am I like basically charged, even though I'm buying it once, is the developer still being charged 3 times for that? Which then means that if people really, in the day and age of review bombs, people are going to figure out that you could do like install bombs and basically do like a virtual machine that repeatedly installs it nonstop and charging 20 cents for every install. It is just all kind, or piracy. And Unity's basically said like, we'll work with publishers to make sure that doesn't happen.
Right.
What the frack does that even mean? Because you know that then the crackers will work to make sure that like, I mean, they're smart people and they can probably make it look like it's real. That's kind of the whole point of a crack, is that it looks like it's the authentic game, right? I mean, that's kind of the purpose. One of my favorite things is because obviously you have things like the Game Pass, and Unity has said that they're going to pass on that install charge to the Microsofts and the Sonys and then Nintendos for subscription-based services. And so it's like, do they know that?
I don't think they do. But here's the thing. One of the biggest issues that a lot of developers and gamers have pointed out is the fact that the way that like the metrics are kept, depending on the platform, it's done slightly different. So some platforms will easily give you all that data. Some platforms are a little secretive about, all of their sales and stuff. And then, of course, Unity is on cell phones, and that is notoriously bad for keeping track of that kind of stuff.
And a large part of it's also a huge bait and switch because like what a lot of the indie developers use is they basically use the personal edition, which I don't know the thresholds of that stuff, but it works for them, obviously. And at the time, the CEO at the time of Unity was like, this is like a forever thing. Like forever, this will be how it is. And you developers can know this is what you'll have forever. And it's awesome. Not so much. So it's also that, the trust that you had in the Unity game system, yes, you're right, nothing is truly forever, is, that trust that gamers had, because what is the next stunt that they're going to pull to basically screw over the developers and publishers? And that's, I think the really hard part is that it's like, in the mid-cycle of a game's development, this changes, like, damn. I mean, you've already had developers say that, like, they're going to delist their games come January 1st. I think with Call of the Lamb, the developer that already said they're going to delist their game come January 1st. That exact reason.
There's another game, I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it was a very popular game, and they're currently working on the sequel, and the developers already come out and said that they're stripping all the Unity out and they're going to go with something else.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So I'll be very curious to see what the long-term effect of this is on the popularity of Unity. Because are people going to go to something else like
Unreal?
Thank you. Unreal Engine is obviously a popular one. I don't know what it is, but there's this open source one that everyone talked about. That's going to bother me. Game Godot. I'm not familiar with it, but everyone was like, Godot's apparently actually pretty good from a game development engine, and it's based on the MIT license, which basically means like it's open source and like has to be. I mean, obviously somebody like Unity could buy it and then it all changes. But based on the way the license is created now, in theory, it's going to be that way. But obviously things can change. So yeah, it sucks because like I remember using when I taught high school, I used Unity as our programming platform, and it was great to teach students.
Yep.
Because they learned C#, and then for them it was fun because they were creating video games, and what high school boy doesn't want to create video games? So it was a lot of fun for them. But now, like myself, I would be questioning based on this decision if that's what I want to use in the classroom. Like, knowing what this is going, do I use something like an open source platform like Godot that will be that way going forward? So this will not right now because it just released, but years down the road, I could see a lot of developers being like, I think we'll go with Unreal Engine or something else instead. Not that I trust Ubisoft a whole lot more, don't get me wrong. But yeah. So this is very fun because in the reality is so many games are made with Unity. I mean, it's extremely popular. And it's obviously, they're trying to obviously monetize it more. They want more of the monies. That's what it comes down to.
Yep.
And everyone gets that. Everyone understands that Unity is in it to make money. I don't think that's the issue. I think a large of it is absolutely, it comes down to the retroactive changing of the license. And that's what really kicks the developers in the balls. And it's like after the fact, we're going to do that now, even though you already have games out, and you're basically screwed if you don't like this. That's what really sucks about
it. Mithril, it said Final Fantasy VII. They want to say it's 9, and that's what we did come up with.
What about you as a former developer in the world of Magic? What do you think of the Unity decision?
I think it's absolute crap. I really think that, Unity has been awesome for like the indie developers. A lot of developers don't have a lot of money. I know this sounds crazy, but a lot of developers don't have a lot of money. And one of the pieces to making a game, if you're trying to make it totally from scratch, is a lot of that money will go into the creation of an engine, a gaming engine, like Unity or Unreal. And when Unity basically had in the past this great deal to help, get your game to the masses, kind of you don't have to go as deep as you would if you were building your own engine. That was awesome. But now to put basically a tax on it after you've accomplished so much. And I kind of see they're basically thinking that individuals who are going to be, the big game sellers, are going to make, hundreds of thousands of downloads, that Unity wants a piece of that pie. It's just, it's so tricky, the metrics and everything. Mithril says, recently got into voice acting. Nice. I would love to get into voice acting, but, yeah, another story for another day. Yeah, I don't like it. I really don't. That's that's all I could say on that. Sadly, It's crap. It's absolute crap. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we pause every week to give a shout out to all those amazing individuals that help Alter Confusion be the Alter Confusion that you love and adore. And so Alter Confusion survives by amazing friends of the show. And so here is the shout out for some of the amazing friends of the show. Let us start off with the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts that challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the AV master himself, and that, of course, is Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously Whack Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. The next shout out we got to give is to all those amazing individuals who are local to Atlanta who may be getting some aches and pains and cricks and all that stuff because of maybe a couple extra hours of gaming that, you just got caught up in the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you about Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the music maestro himself, and that, of course, is CrossPad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content, just like Alter Confusion. CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. And the final shout out we got to give is to the original patron of Alter Confusion. That, of course, is Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both a development team and system administration team working with satellites in NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings, and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist Agile Axe, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information and also to check out his book, go to agileaxiom.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know that you are dying to know, how can I become a friend of the show? Well, it's quite simple. Alter Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you, and so we have a patron page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, werewolves, vampires, swamp creatures, supporters, and more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. Currently, we have 2 tiers. There is the $1 month tier. That's $1 a month or $12 a year. And not only do you gain early access to all of our playthroughs, but you also gain the ability to participate in patron-only posts and polls to help shape the future of Alter Confusion. If you're feeling a little frisky. There is the $5 a month tier. That's $5 a month or $60 a year. Not only do you get everything at the $1 tier, but you also gain your name or organization added to the Friends of the Show section of every single Thursday night hangout. So if you want to become a patron of Alter Confusion, go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/Altered Confusion. Now, let's do one more shout out, and that, of course, is, ladies and gentlemen, Alter Confusion is proud to say that we have been fundraising for Extra Life for 12 years straight. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network Hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion. Also, side note, if because we support our Miracle Network Hospital is Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Their superhero cape day is coming up soon, and I will be donning my cape yet again to celebrate.
Where are you going to go with your cape?
Oh, I will. I'll go out into the streets, good sir. Out into the streets.
You should run around the neighborhood, knocking at everyone's door. Hello, do you know what today is, sir?
My kids they each have one as well. So all three of us could go together.
Nice.
But yes. That's coming up. That's November. And then, of course, our big thing is we'll do 24-hour Game-a-thon, where Charlie will play 24 hours straight and lose his effing mind. No, I'm just kidding.
Did you ever have a mind to start with, sir?
Exactly. I can't lose it if it's already gone.
See? Way to be positive.
Anywho, before I forget again, one of our friends of the show, Agile Axiom, who works with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus, before I forget again, one really cool thing about Starfield is that they utilize a lot of the data from NASA's satellite pictures and whatnot, and the system that they use is the Goddard satellite system for the pictures. So that's kind of a cool roundabout way of doing it. Or Agile Axiom is helping get that shit right.
Does it mean we're going back to space?
Did we ever leave space?
Touche.
Okay. So, since I've been playing just a little bit of Starfield, and
in space? I sense a theme here.
Space. And I know that Zealeus has played quite a few games where there's this wonderful mini game called Inventory Tetris.
Oh, yes.
And then there's, of course, you can have as many items as you want as long as it's under the certain weight limit. So my question for you, Zealeus, is, first of all, let me talk about my experience at the beginning of these type of games. Especially Starfield is like a Skyrim and Fallout, where you have a certain weight limit that you have to keep your inventory under. Otherwise, you become encumbered. You can't fast travel. You start losing in Starfield. You start losing oxygen, which of course you'll suffocate after a while. But I've noticed that in these type of games, at the beginning of the game, I will pick up anything and everything. And then as I progress through the game, I become so finicky about what I will pick up. If the item that I see weighs nothing, I will pick it up every day of the week. However, if it's got some weight to it, then it has to be we've got the universal color code system for, like legendary and rare items and uncommon and whatever. I will only pick up rare and legendary items. I will not pick up the uncommon or just the regular items, which has screwed me in Starfield, because as you advance through the game, there's a very good chance you're going to get better weapons than you have. So you could be running around with a legendary weapon that does crap in comparison to this normal weapon that basically could do 3 times the damage. But because I am discounting the fact that it's not a rare or legendary item, I'm missing out.
I know that feeling.
So Zealeus, what are your inventory strategies in games?
So most of the inventory Tetris games I played are probably action RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
And at least modernly now, most of them, like Diablos, Last Epoch, and Path of Exile, all those, they come with loot filters.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the very first things I do is figure out how to configure the loot filter. So to your point, I'm not picking up every single common item in the game. Usually for the first couple levels, you have to, just because you need to get some gear to start with.
Right.
But there definitely comes that tipping point where it's like, I don't even want to see normal or commons or even rare sometimes.
Right.
And then if I want to get really minutia, then you can start being like, I only want certain affixes or effixes on my loot. So I don't even see like really good legendary stuff, but I'm not going to see it because it doesn't fit what I'm trying to get, because I'm going for the two-handed barbarian whirlwind attack, so I don't care about sorcerer weapons at all.
Mm-hmm.
So that's usually where I go, is definitely the loot filter route. Because otherwise you can literally spend your entire game picking up every item, going back to town, like selling whatever you do, and then go back and play for like 4 minutes before your inventory is full again. I do feel like there comes like a certain point where like games do go overboard with the amount of loot that drops.
Yes.
And I get like it's a dopamine effect. I totally understand it. And actually a game I thought was terrible about that was actually Borderlands.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that's one of their taglines. It's like, so much loot, everywhere loot. But there comes a point where like, it's too much, I feel like, in some games, where it's like, you don't really need that much loot. So I'd be on the side more so of make loot a little bit more rare and impactful than super common. And you don't know what you're going to get. But sometimes I'd rather just be a little bit more uncommon, honestly.
See, but here's the true downside, and I think this would actually drive Zealeus up a wall, is the fact that games like Skyrim and Starfield and Fallout, when I say that you can literally pick up anything, I mean like anything. I have accidentally picked up empty plates and coffee cups and crushed styrofoam containers.
Charlie?
Yes.
There's a reason I don't play open world games like that very often. Because like it's just too much. Like my puny little brain just can't handle all the stimuli between the items to pick up. So my backpack is full within the first 4 minutes playing, to the overwhelming number of quests, to the open world. Nope. Sorry. It's like overstimulation.
No, I can't tell you how many times that I've gone somewhere to like sell items, and like you go into your like miscellaneous section, because that's where most of the crap is, and I'll look at it going, when the hell did I pick this up?
You know what I actually really hate in games like that? When they tie your inventory space based on weight, but it's modified by your strength. Like, because to me, like, I mean, I get certain things like HP and mana are modified by your stats, like, but that's geared towards your player archetypes. I totally understand that. But to me, tying your weight limit as far as what you can carry to your strength is just a terrible quality of life type of way of playing the game, in my opinion. Like, that's just not fun when they do that.
Well, it's Starfield. They when you level up, you get a skill point, and you can put it towards weightlifting, which which gives you, I think, 10% more, the ability to carry 10% more weight. But the one thing about Starfield that does, it's both good and bad, is you could, they've got this system in place to kind of stop you from basically hoarding a bunch of skill points and then dropping them all into one at some point.
I know that's true.
When you put skill points into a skill, in order to level it to the next one, you have to complete. I don't want to say a mission, but kind of a challenge. There we go. You have to complete a challenge. Like for handguns, the first level is there's no requirements, but like once you put that in there, in order to have the second level be eligible to receive a skill point, you have to shoot 10 people to death with a pistol.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
For the weightlifting thing, you have to sprint a certain distance with 75% of your weight taken up.
Oh, geez.
Which is never a problem for me because I'm always sprinting. Oh my God. Especially in cities. I can't, and it pisses me off that like I said, I pick up everything. So my inventory is always heavy. I mean, I'm always basically 20 pounds away from the max. So it's always going to be above 75%. And so I just have to watch my oxygen meter run out and then have to stop for a second so it can recover and then sprint again because I don't want to just wander aimlessly through places when I've got place to go.
Honestly, I feel like in most games, in cities, like when you're in the safe zone, if there is one, should be like automatically enable sprint.
Yeah.
Because like every gamer wants to sprint through cities. Like that's a very normal, like everyone does it. So just give me in cities, auto sprint. Is that too much to ask?
I say give in cities where there are no threats, give me auto sprint. If a threat occurs, then take it away and you know.
That I'm fine with. No, I'm cool with that. But most games have like safe city zones. And when there's a sprint functionality built into the game, I just be able to sprint freely without any cost in cities.
You want to hear a crazy curveball? Excuse me. Oh, I gotta drink something.
Don't die. Oh no, our fearless host.
Try not to. One of the things that I found in Starfield is that find planets, because you're gonna be sprinting a lot around a planet as you're trying to get. Oh, look, there is some kind of structure over there that's 800 meters away, and you are going to.
Don't you have like a drone or a buggy or something you can drive around?
Nope. No land crafts.
What? How's that even possible?
I don't know. I don't want to talk about it.
So you can build a spaceship. Well, you can't build a spaceship, but in the game,
hypothetically, people can build spaceships. You can choose your landing zone, and the spaceship lands right there.
So can you change your landing zone to be 800 meters away, closer to that structure?
No. Unless you visited that structure before, then you can park it right there at the structure.
Damn it. That's not very realistic.
But here's the funny thing. So, like I said, let's say that you're on a planet that has gravity. One gravity would basically be the gravity of Earth.
Sure.
If you go to a place that's got like 0.19, so basically when you jump up in the air, you get some serious air.
Nice.
You can go incredible distances. Figure this one out for me, okay? You can go, if you sprint, you will get gassed several times going from, let's just say that you have to go 800 meters. Okay. If you sprint, you'll have to stop a couple times, otherwise the CO2 level will get too high. However, if you sprint and jump up in the air, your oxygen will start to recover before you land, again. And then you sprint a little bit, jump up in the air, and then your oxygen will recover as you land.
Okay, that makes sense though, because when your legs are pumping, you're using oxygen and doing the COT thing, right? But
Yeah.
if you're in the air, I assume you're not like swimming in air and pumping your legs. So yes, it's a natural rest while you're in the air. So that makes actual logical, physiological sense. But riddle me this.
Yes.
On the 0.19 area, is your weight limit also increased by effectively what would be like 500%?
No.
Because it weighs 1/5 of what it should.
No.
Well, that's just dumb because your weight limit should go up because it doesn't weigh as much.
No, the thing is you'll get as gassed as you would on a 1 as you would on a 0.19 if you are sprinting on the surface.
I mean, we don't really have a good data set to actually test that theory, though.
Right, that's true.
That's the problem. I mean, the weight we know is going to weigh less, so that at least we know be reduced. That kind of makes me sad, actually, that they don't factor that in.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, Mass Effect had the damn Mako at least. You could at least have that.
I know.
Jeez.
It's like, painful.
Not even a motorcycle?
No, there's nothing.
So we have all this technology to not Charlie, but build spaceships.
Yep.
And you can't have a dune buggy.
Nope.
You can't even have like a damn like little drone following around to carry all your shit.
Okay, so
they don't really need to get their technology.
You don't have a drone. However, you can have a companion, which you can load down with random shit.
Okay. Can you have a robot? Or is your companion a robot, or do you just
there is one robot you can have, but I don't use that robot.
Yeah.
Can you play the game?
Okay. So to your point, though, you're 50 hours in. You said so you can play the game without crafting, is what it sounds like, because you said you don't really craft it.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, people obviously will get really into crafting in the not BioWare, the Skyrim type of games. But you can play without basically doing that. It sounds like still be successful.
Yeah.
Interesting.
As long as you're picking up weapons and equipment to improve your stats. Because really, the crafting part is for modifications to your weapons or to your armor or spacesuit, or to allow you to craft your own food or pharmaceuticals. Which that's the thing. There's so much crap that you pick up that there's no need for me. I've started selling all the food I've picked up because I'll be carrying around 50 pounds of random ass food that I won't use because I'm only using med packs to heal. So the 37 instances of celery and carrots and limes and apples and potatoes.
That's some very healthy eating, man.
Well, you need those there's a research center where you learn how to make a sandwich. Yeah.
I want to go to this research center.
And most of the research stuff is blocked because you have to have skill points in like weapon design or spacesuit design or culinary or whatever it's called.
Or you can just put all your skill points in like combat stuff instead and just find items that enemies drop.
I've maxed out my weight carrying, my health, my hacking / lock picking, and my handgun, and then and my scanner, which basically allows you to. Basically, when you land on a planet, you can scan things to get like experience points after you scan things. I think it's like if you scan 8 of a certain something, then you get like 20 experience, and you're basically mapping I've said this before, but like the plants, the animals, and the minerals. And then, of course, certain planets have these things called features where they'll give you additional points because it's a unique feature for the planet.
Ooh, fancy.
But I have gotten a lot better at dealing with contraband.
Because you are a pirate, after all.
Yes, I am a pirate, and now I understand. And I also, because I put a bigger fuel tank on my ship, I can escape or avoid those systems that have the contraband scanners.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Well, I started a new game this week called Synced. Mm-hmm. It's basically, the whole concept of the game is basically like, it's in the future, nanites took over the world. Oh no.
Oh no.
But then you go like basically in like their instance missions is what they are. You can either go solo or a party of 3. But so the idea is,
it's like Guild Wars.
Yeah, actually, it's very much like Guild Wars, yes. Mm-hmm. But the idea is each mission, it's kind of like a roguelike, but not.
Okay.
And that, like, you get like overall sets you can improve, but inside of each mission, there's like the substance that drops that you can't bring back to the main station because it's volatile and stuff. Mm-hmm. So you can upgrade stats in each mission that don't necessarily carry over.
Gotcha.
And there's like drops and stuff. The gunplay in the game is pretty good, actually. Mm-hmm. I've only done like 2 missions, so because it just came out. But so far, it's like, this is a pretty interesting game. It's actually free to play, and I've not actually been like asked to buy anything yet.
Is this on Steam?
Yes. Like I said, I only played 2 missions, but like even then, having played 2 missions without like a single thing to buy is kind of odd, actually. Mm-hmm. Because normally, I mean, you played them where it's like immediately buy our super uber founders pack ×4.
Yeah. I do like the fact that looking back at some of the purchases of the founders packs that I bought, and how much you would have to pay for the equivalent now, like for Paladins and Smite and Brawlhalla, is freaking astronomical.
Yes.
It's like $40 when they first launched. Now it's like $150.
That would have been the big one for us. Like, I mean, I know I don't play it anymore.
Yeah.
But still, that would have been nuts to have like purchased that. Because, geez.
Yep. Oh shoot! I can't believe we forgot our very good friend Craig Campbell of REbirth Games. Has now a new Kickstarter project for Capers Cyber, right? Is that the right one? Pretty sure it's Cyber.
Yeah. It's interesting because he doesn't actually update his website with it.
Yeah.
That's usually what I have bookmarked.
But as Zealeus and I can attest, first of all, Capers, phenomenal game. But basically anything that Nerdburger touches is a very solid game. Plus the fact is Craig knows how to run a Kickstarter. The man is a Kickstarter guru. He always has the entire thing mapped out. And he always keeps the cost low. And he always does an amazing job. So.
And Craig's just a good guy to support.
Yes, absolutely. 100% support this man. He is awesome. He does he does Gen Con. I don't know what other conventions he does. I think he does PAX Unplugged, or he tried that for a bit. Because PAX Unplugged is more the kind of like the PAX version of Gen Con.
Ah, yes, that makes sense.
Anyways. Definitely do not want to forget to give him a shout out. I know that.
Oh wait, there's more.
I know that this Kickstarter campaign has been over for a bit, but I do want to congratulate So Peculiar Games. They successfully funded their Bug and Seek game, which was available to one of the demos was available to play at MomoCon. They successfully did their Kickstarter. So I'm excited to see what will come of it. And of course, the other game that was on that we interviewed and was at MomoCon and also did a successful Kickstarter is, oh my gosh, I just blanked out on it. The card game, Flawed. They also succeeded in their Kickstarter. So congratulations to all you amazing people.
So what's kind of cool, Bug and Seek actually has a in-web browser demo of the game you can play.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of neat.
And it is kind of cool because they keep adding to the the encyclopedia of bugs that you could find. It's kind of fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we've reached the end of our show, unfortunately, sadly. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.